In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use part of a picture on your book cover. So we had just talked about using the entire picture. Now I just want to show you how you can use part of it. What we're looking at in this document is I've already placed all of my text and I've left space for a picture. This is something you would want to consider when you're in the thumbnailing process of what picture you're going to put here instead of doing something arbitrarily. I'm going to place the Sherlock hat. So the first thing I need to do is Google it. So I Googled Sherlock Holmes hat, and they all look basically the same to me. So I just chose the first one. Although actually, I think maybe, yeah, I'm just going to choose this first one. It's right here. I'm going to hit copy image. And instead of copying it directly into InDesign, I'm going to copy it into Photoshop. This is because this picture has a white background that I'm going to need to get rid of, and it also is the wrong color. So I need to make a new document. Let's go inches, 6 by 9, resolution 300, and create. Now I'm not going to need this entire document size, but it's always good to just design on the right size page. Now I just want to note, we can't tell that there is a white background here because the background of the document is white. But if we turn the background off, you can see that there's a white box around this hat, and we don't want that. We can get rid of this pretty easily, and this is probably the easiest part of this process, is just getting rid of the white box. Now we can use a few tools. We can try the quick selection tool to select the hat, right? But I think that's not the best way. Rather, I want to show you this really cool tool. It's called the object selection tool, and it lets us select an object. So I've just scrolled over it, and Photoshop's AI technology just recognizes that this is the object that I want, and it's going to discard this white. And the reason this works is because this is a really obvious color difference. If you have more stuff in the background, it becomes a little more complicated, and then you would need to edit your selection. But for these kind of things, you could probably just use the object selection tool. Now, what I want to do is, instead of deleting the white background, I'm going to make a mask. And what that does is it hides the part of the picture that I don't want visible. To do this, so I have my hat selected, I can hit this, it's right next to the adjustment layers, and I can hit this mask icon. And now we've hidden the white background from the picture. If I turn my white background back on, you can't really tell what I've done, but if we turn it off, you can see that the white background is gone. Now we're going to recolor the picture. And this part might actually get a little bit complicated. So just bear with me. What we're going to need to do is make an adjustment layer on top of the hat. And I want the adjustment layer to affect this hat. So let's make an adjustment layer. I'm going to make a gradient map. Oh, there we go. And it worked out pretty well. So just like what we did before with the whole picture, we're going to just do that again now. I'm going to type in my hex code, and this is why it's so good to write it down, just so that way you have it and you don't really have to stress about remembering it. You can hit OK. There we go. And what I'm doing is I'm making the darks equal purple and the whites equal gray. In theory, if you're doing this in a black and white version, you would make the white equal white and the black equal black. We can also have tried doing a black and white version. But anyway, now we've recolored the hat. Now if I hit save, I can, let's call this Sherlock hat. I really thought that I had saved this, but I guess I didn't. I thought I had named it, but I guess I didn't. And I'm going to hit OK. And now that this is done, I'm going to go into InDesign, hit Command or Control D. That lets us find the hat that we want and place it. Now we can move it around. So remember, we want to move the hat with the bounding box. And if this is your first time using InDesign, this might be a little ambitious. Also, if you've never used Photoshop before, this is a little ambitious. But it is something that's worth knowing how to do in reference to this project. And you can rotate it. You can really do basically whatever you want. We can even make our S wear the hat, if that was an idea that you wanted to try. I don't think that's a great idea. I'm gonna go back and just place it here. And then we'd probably want to add a background color to this, lest it be a little bit boring. M gets us our rectangle tool. And now we can fill it in. I'm going to tint it. There we go. And that is a way that you would use, that you can mask shapes and recolor them to use them on your book. I also recommend that you only use one shape. Like, don't fill your book covers with a bunch of shapes. Pick one image, and that should be the image that you use.